What? Palmera is evolving? Alright. Congratulations, your Palmera evolved into Pawmot. Palmera has been a little underpowered for a little bit, so I'm glad to finally have Pawmot, the hands-on Pokemon. Pawmot's fluffy fur acts as a battery. It can store the same amount of electricity as an electric car. It's pretty strong. I'm pretty sure. I think that's impressive. I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about but Pawmot also gets access to the move Revival Blessing, which we won't be taking on Pawmot. Anyway, so, with that out of the way, if I'm going to level up one other person, it's going to be you, due to feeling underpowered to me. And we could be giving these berries. We could also just straight up buy, like, things. Anything else I really want to do before battle? I guess I do want to actually decide on movesets before battle. You know. Hello there, people who have access to the internet and who are currently using it to watch this video. My name is PunFood, or just Pun if you prefer. And, I guess I'll talk about, Pawmot. Some people say that Pawmi into Pawmo and then Pawmot is lazy. I do get what they're saying, why they're saying it. And I do think that it's kind of lazy, a little. But it doesn't make me, like, hate the line or say, oh, Pokemon's dumb or stupid. I do think that in this gen, they did add a lot of Pokemon purely for the sake of trying to get to that coveted, 1,000 Pokemon. But, I think the more egregious example of this is having what are effectively regional forms be, convergent evolution type things. I understand why they are, because mushrooms are completely different from, squid or octopi or whatever they're supposed to be. I think they're squid. And eels are completely different from, like, moles. Earthquake. Okay. But I do think that there is a certain level of, I don't know, just general. Let's start with Jewel, actually. I do think there's a certain level of, like, they just created a bunch of Pokemon and not have them be, like, forms or anything specifically to try and get to 1,000 Pokemon. I don't have too much of an issue with it, but I feel like, if we actually pull it up in the Pokedex here, they shouldn't be too far in, because they're pretty early game. Like, if we look at, Pawmi into Pawmo, Pawmo gets the fighting type, right? The hair changes a little, so do the ears. The color changes as well. And then Pawmo into Pawmot is a pretty big change. Some people say it's lazy, and some people say they could have just gone Pawmi to Pawmot. I get what they're saying, but also this is the first Pikachu clone to evolve. I really like that about it. And I don't know. I just generally think that, I really like the line, personally. If you don't, I guess that's, your decision, your opinion to have. Anyway, I guess that's enough rambling about that. I really like, to some extent, I like how it's kind of, simple. Just kind of, subtly gaining a bit more, nothing too drastic. It reminds me of, like, Bulbasaur into Venusaur in that way, where the only thing that really changes is the flower on its back and its overall size, Anyway, before we go in, I do want to quickly make sure there aren't any moves that, like, I missed by, like, extra fast pressing through anything. Aerial Ace is okay. Low Sweep. Wild Charge. Okay. This is better than Spark. I'm not a fan of Recoil. But 90 power compared to 65. It doesn't have a chance to paralyze according to the description. But I think we go with Wild Charge anyway. No, we'll leave Spark for now, I think. Anything else? Oops. Remember moves, Agility, Pluck, Confusion, Growl, Peck. And then you don't have anything. The one thing I do want to do is see if you can learn at least any, like... You can learn Thunderfang. You could also learn Trailblaze. I think that it might be fun to use Trailblaze here. The only other person who might want Thunderfang, really, is, like, no one. I say we teach you Thunderfang. We really don't need, Covet and Bite. Okay. So you can have Thunderfang for this battle. You also need some support. Could teach you Psyshock early. I think you get it by level up. You really don't get anything. And I know you also don't get much. You kind of just stick to electric and fighting, which is the case for a lot of electric types. They just kind of get electric moves in their secondary typing. You have a versatile variety of moves, but you've already got, you know, your grass moves, so what I'm really interested in is Struggle Bug could be good. Just for stab special bug move. You could also get Electro Ball, but you're not that fast. Okay. How fast are you? 38. Yeah, that's not really worth it. Okay. We'll hold off. And then lastly, yeah, very similar sort of situation where, well, you can get Air Cutter. It's not too bad. Or Air Slash. But yeah, only really moves that you already, fit your typings. Okay. I guess this is fine. This is a Team will rock, for now. Yeah, so we're going with Jewel, Rod, Florian, Palmera, Lucas, and Roll. Lucas has 43. 43, compare that to 83 or 72. It might be worth giving Lucas the Wise glasses, actually, before we head in. Where are they? Okay. Yeah, let's try these on Lucas for now. Yeah. Looks good to me. Oh, Earthquake? Okay. And maybe we'll try the Assault Vest. Well, they're gonna be all physical attackers in here, I believe, so... Okay. Well, I guess let's head inside. Here we go. Nemona, we've not actually set foot inside here, so I think we'll have to talk to Nemona really quick. Oh, not Nemona. Okay. Well, then let me drink a sip of water so my voice is not dying. And let me... What was Hassel's voice? Okay, well now, Pun Food. You appear to be progressing well on your gym circuit. What's this now? Is this that kid I've been hearing so much about? Hey kiddo, I heard you're like way too good at battling, yeah? Not that good. Puh, you can't fool me that easily. No need to play humble, you hear? This young lady will be Rika. That's me, Rika here, at your service. And hey, I know I'm pretty, but no need to get intimidated or anything. She is a little farcical, shall we say. But like myself, she is a member of the Elite Four. What? I wasn't trying to be funny. Anyway, tell you something, kiddo. You look fun, like interesting, at a glance anyway. Naturally, he's one of our Academy's esteemed students. Oh, haha, yeah, that checks out. But the battles you'll face at these gyms really ratchet up the further you go. Indeed, your average trainer abandons the challenge at roughly this point. But not you, right, kiddo? See, when you hit this champion assessment, you show these gyms what you got. Did I read that right? Anyway, best of fortunes to you. Alright then. No Nemona conversation, just talking to them. Alright. Pun Food. I heard you reunited Kofu with his wallet. Yeah. It took us like 2 episodes just to do that. Like, that's not the fastest. But because we had to Kofu all that trouble, we now can take on the gym leader. Get it? Kofu, the surging chef. Alright. I'm ready. Okay. If I end up just sweeping this with Jewel, that is fine. Honestly. I do need to do a bit of training before our next major battle anyway. Hello there. Oh, man, Kofu, play with us, come on! I would be honored if you try a new item from my restaurant's menu as well. Sorry. No, that's not as... Sorry, everybody. I got some business to take care of as gym leader real quick like. I'm keeping someone waiting, you see. Please forgive me. I need to do this first. Okay. Very... just a simple okay. Not like a we understand or... Yeah, old man Kofu, you know, whatever. Hey, step right up. I've been waiting for you. Thanks for the help over in Puerto Marinada. You did a mighty fine job. And now that I've got that legendary seaweed, I can make some real quality gestures with it. But don't expect me to go easy on you in our battle here. Alright. At the auction, we battle with buying and selling. In my gym, we battle in a more traditional sense. Moving tactics, ever-changing as the raging sea. I'ma serve you a full course of water-type Pokemon. Don't try to eat them, though. And yet, ironically, all your water-type Pokemon are the equivalents of, like, real animals that would be considered seafood. Anyway, Gym Leader Kofu with a Volton Veluza. Anyway... I feel a bit indebted to you, but don't expect me to go easy on you just 'cause of that. Alright, let's talk about the water type. So, water is one of the starting types, basically it's probably the most defensive of the 3 starting types. Water has, what do you want to call it? Water has only 2 weaknesses, which is, less than either of the other 2. Not by much, but then its only 2 weaknesses are to grass, which sure is pretty common. It's a starting type, of course. I'm gonna try to pull off a Volt Switch. But its other weakness is Electric, which isn't too common, and Electric isn't too terribly great as an offensive typing. This leads to Water Ground, which only has a weakness to Grass. Is Dual Wing Beat special? Anyway, no. But it might be better than Pluck, whatever. So, you know, Water's pretty defensive. Water also resists Steel, which isn't a great resistance to have. You know, it's not the worst, but it's just, like, not terribly, you know, good. The tides ebb and flow. It's time for a raging tidal surge. Okay. So, Electric isn't too common, like I said. Anyway, resisting Steel isn't too great, but Water also resists Water. Water also resists Fire, which is pretty good offensively, so it's a great resistance to have. Water resists Ice, which is also good offensively, although Ice as a type is flawed in its own way. We'll talk about that when we get there. Water is like the number 3 best type in VGC, according to a lot of sources, and for good reason. Water is not resisted by a lot. It's resisted by Grass, Water, and Dragon really are the only ones that come to mind. It might be resisted by Electric, but I don't think it is. Prepare the ringing for big transformation. My Pokemon's gonna rock the boat. Did he say the ringing or the rigging? I don't know. Whatever. I don't get all country folk talk. I don't know. He may not be country folk. He just maybe, you know. I mean, he's using a lot of yours and oh, you know, right? Apostrophes and stuff. Apostrophes? Is that what? Yeah. Okay, so he missed, so this is a very easy cleanup with Seed Bomb. Water is like the most common type. So the Pokemon can vary a lot on quality compared to grass types, which usually tend to lean towards some utility, if anything at all. Or the fire types, which tend to be pretty powerful no matter what. You know. But either way, we won, so Volton the loser! You're a lively one, aren't you? A little too lively, if I do say so myself. Alright then. Yeah! A loss as refreshing as the air at the morning market. I'm just like a helpless little Magikarp to you, eh? Flopping around all willy-nilly. You got me good, I tell ya. What a great catch you are. I guess that wraps it up on Water. It's pretty simple, but pretty strong, just because of how it interacts with other things. I don't know, not my favorite. I would have to say it's probably in my bottom 6 types. Never been too much a fan of Water. I think I've always preferred, like, basically anything else except Fire. Anyway. Just like a master fisher, you held on tight to the last second and reeled in victory. Now it's time to hand over a gym badge to you. I would say that Water and Fire are the least common types to appear on my team, whereas Grass is almost always on my team. Normal makes a few appearances here and there, and so does, like, you know, Fairy for sure usually ends up on my team. You know, maybe Psychic, Dark, Ghost, you know. Dragon. Like, I tend to feel like Fire and Water, unless I pick the Water or Fire starter, I feel like I hardly ever have one on my team. Anyway, and let's get a real good photo together using a pose I've been wanting to try for a while now. Alright then. I love this photo. I like Kofu a lot. I feel like he's one of the less memorable characters in the game. Like, I feel like Katie's the first gym leader. You know, Brassius was in a lot of trailers. Iono is streamer, you know, whatever. And I feel like Kofu doesn't fully get through his whole chef vibe. I mean, he's still memorable. He loses his wallet, but I feel like, especially online, there's a lot more about other characters, you know. Anyway, with 4 gym badges in your possession, Pokemon of up to level 40 will be easier to catch and will listen to you when you ask them to do things. Let me throw this in too as an extra special bonus. I'm sure you can make good use of it. Chilling Water, not the best. It lowers the target's attack stat. I'm not the biggest fan of like lowering attack or defense. Because like, why would I do that when I could just kill them? Anyway, faint them, sorry. Anyway, alrighty, it's about time I headed on back to my restaurant and got prepping for the next wave. You come back to see me again now, you hear? Okay, but Katie had like her pastry shop, which you could see, but where is Kofu's restaurant? Whatever. This should be Nemona. Here she is. Oh, Pun Food! Hola! Caught you just as you finished up in here, huh? That puts you 4 badges in now, right? Man, that's awesome! I can't believe you're halfway through your gym journey already. Your efforts are bearing so much fruit so quickly. It makes me want to just challenge you to a battle right here, right now. But I'm gonna have to wait, because I put together my team of Pokemon specifically to take on the gym leader. Dang it. When I battle you, I want to do it under the best possible conditions, which means this time I've got to ask for a rain check. This is the worst timing ever. Sorry, Pun Food. Forgive me, forgive me! I guess we had to have a mandatory, like, Nemona check-in after the gym battle, but whatever. Alright, well, before we do anything else, I just want to really quickly check and see if I can find Kofu's restaurant, or if he's just making it up. Anyway. I don't think it's any of these up here. Well, this is a bread place, not really, like, Kofu's style. He seems very much more seafood, you know? Oh. Did this spawn back, or did I just never grab it? I don't know. Socks. This is like clothing stuff. Delibird. Okay. Okay. There's that item there. I will take that. 3 Pokeballs. Wow. That's not it. That's not it. Is this it? The restaurants. Okay. So is this Kofu's restaurant? Go for Broke Grill. This doesn't look like, Oh, this has to be Kofu's restaurant. Gastronome Infamile. I think that's how you would say that. Maybe not. It still doesn't look like seafood from what I can understand of whatever language that is. But that's the best guess on where Kofu's restaurant is, unless it's down here. Which, I mean, it might be. I mean, this looks more like a bookstore. Well, that might be like cheese. Now I look at it. Okay. It's probably not it. Does this Delibird present sell different than the one on the upper level? These are the kinds of things that you have to ask yourself. Or, like, investigate yourself. Well, maybe they just started selling more stuff. Interesting. Shed skin. protects from most weather. Interesting stuff. So, unless they just updated their stock, I guess it does sell slightly different stuff. Well, unless it's that, more fancy restaurant, which it might be, I cannot find Kofu's place. Is this it? Maybe it's Jade Palace Garden? I don't know. I honestly can't tell anymore. I think it's after Gym 6 that we get the ability. Yeah, okay. Well then. I guess now that that is done, is my team healed? No. But now that that is done, I need to put together a team for our next objective. So, the only problem with that is I like to record episodes in groups of 3. And if I did that, I don't have a whole lot of time today. So I feel like my options are either use next episode to do grinding, or just don't. You know what? Our next objective is Poison Crew base. So I'll first head back to Zapapiko. And with the rest of the episode, we can at least get to the Pokemon Center by the Poison Crew base, and then I can decide what to do with it next episode. As for what team I'm gonna bring, that is a tough question. I think my team is gonna end up being Spine, Rod, Lucas for sure. Not Florian or Roll for sure as well. Steve probably gets ground moves. Oh, Sal is a psychic type. Keep forgetting that. Lucky also has Drill Run. So we could use Lucky. And then at that point, Passant, obviously is a Steel type. So I think that's the team we're gonna roll with. So for now, I'd like to try prioritizing leveling the team that we're not gonna roll with. If we encounter any, like wild battles or whatever along the way. But yeah, let's mainly just try to get to the Pokemon Center over there. Only other thing is I do kind of want to just catch Voltorb. Been putting it off for a minute, Okay. This should catch. There we go. Voltorb was caught. Okay. I don't really care too much about the Pokedex entry. It's usually found in power plants, easily mistaken for a Pokeball. It zapped many people. Alright then. I'm really tired. Let's also make sure we're grabbing important, items. Yeah, I desperately need to level up the team, but how to go about it when I still plan to record another episode before doing any, grinding sessions, That is what I don't know. But there are items down here, which I really want, so they're on the way, relatively. Oh, we can head through here. This is very tucked away. Gives us a Sassy Mint. Special defense in exchange for speed. I don't think anyone really wants special defense in exchange for speed. The thing is speed is probably the most valuable stat outside of, damage. Your defensive stats are pretty good. to have, especially if you're naturally slow. But if you're moderately fast, it's better to invest in speed than to try investing in defenses, especially since it only protects you from one type of attack. Anyway, potion. No one here, or no guy saying Pokemon battles or whatever here, but we can just rest our Pokemon, and we can, I guess we'll level them up. Yeah, I guess we'll level them up next time. But for now, my name has been, and will be tomorrow, and the day after that, 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 and it always will be Pun Food. I think I have an idea what we could do next time. You know, I said we'd level up the Pokemon, but I honestly think that maybe, next time, do a little classic learning.